one quick question about the metrogynine versus the tea, the kratom extract. I'm thinking to the sort of take a page from the cannabis world about the entourage effect. It doesn't look like you're getting that, although you're showing some constituents with off-target analgesic properties at the serotonergic receptor. So what do you think is going on there? And would there be combinations of kratom that might have this sort of entourage type effect for analgesia? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a good question. In fact, I'm a full believer in the symphony orchestra analogy. So I really think that entourage effect is there. And we're seeing different things come into play. And I just didn't have time to go into all of the different alkaloids and all the pharmacologies. I kind of give you a little glimpse of what's there. But I think mitragynine by itself is a fascinating molecule, and it may have a limited therapeutic application versus kratom as a whole may have a lot more avenues to pursue in terms of many applications. There's so much anecdotal evidence out there in treatment of cardiovascular disease, of diabetes, obviously of pain. There's just many avenues we haven't been able to tread into yet. Mood enhancement is one of the things that, maybe some of the serotonergic and adrenergic effects are playing into. I'm excited because those compounds appear to be much more enriched in some of the chemotypes that individuals that are consuming those, that donated those to the University of Florida, really said that they had positive mental effects from those trees. And so we just haven't pursued that. And then as you might imagine, we're in the process right now. Our R01 funding is really to start investigating what I call leave one out pharmacology. Now that we know what's present from the full kratom tea exposure into the animal's plasma and brain, we can start taking those purified molecules in the same ratios and then start playing around with that to see if there is entourage-like effect, or if we're completely missing the boat, right? We're focused on alkaloids. We're looking like the guy that dropped his keys in the dark. We're looking under the lamppost because the light's there, right. But the keys may be off in a dark corner somewhere. So there's tremendous amount of work to be done. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hold my second question because I know there's a lot of others wanted questions. So thank you. That was great.
Ellen, did you have a question, or do you want me to move to audience questions? Ellen?
Well, sure. I have a question. I'm particularly interested in those adrenergic effects because that typically, right, this drug, the plant, the tea, am I correct that it's primarily used as a stimulant? Like for people use them like for, in the fields when they want to work long hours without getting tired, a little bit like chewing cocoa leaves.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's fascinating because it seems to be more stimulant-like at lower doses and more opiate-like or euphoric at higher doses. We've not really been able to tweak that or capture that or understand what is causing that. So it remains a mystery, and it is something that we're concerned about as well. In fact, I think the adrenergic component may be more important for the entire plant than the opioid. And if you look at the Poison Control Center calls, that plays itself out in those cases. And so, it is something that we are very interested in. We have a lot of data that we haven't published yet, so I can't go into too much more detail, but maybe next time.
But presumably these adrenergic effects don't go away at the higher doses, even though, right? And part of that adrenergic effects can be antinociceptive, at the spinal cord level, I believe.
Correct.
So it could be that some of the antinociception is coming from that. Is that Are you thinking along these lines or?
We think that it's mixed modal, right? So I think opioids are definitely involved. We've seen that through receptor blockade studies. But we've also been able to take knockout animals and see analgesia that we can block through adrenergic mechanisms. And we've also seen, as I showed in the last slide, some serotonergic activity as well, all known to be targets for analgesia in their own right. So yeah, I think there's, as a medicinal chemist, this is like somebody opened up the candy store. There's so much inspiration for us to move forward with.
The full picnic. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a real range of questions and comments, ranging from thanking you for the wonderful research you're doing. And so I think, I think we'll start with this question, which came in, which is, so what is, in your opinion, is contributing to the adverse event reports around kratom, considering data that you've had or suggestions that there's a limited abuse potential or safety concerns? So that was one question that came in. So your thoughts there?
I think anything, everything should be taken within moderation. Even moderation, as Winston Churchill said. I think where we start to see the adverse events is in a subset of users, and I like to think, and I hope to think, that's a very small subset of individuals that are using this. Unfortunately, they're the ones that we hear about the most, because they're the ones that end up in the hospital or unfortunately in worse places. But it definitely seems to be this adrenergic activity that's really concerning for us. And what we see in terms of people that have ingested too much material and end up either in the hospital or have passed from overdose, whether it was in combination with many other substances or not, there's not the opioid type issues associated with it. So there's no respiratory depression that has been reported, or very little. Most of the reports are really at agitation, seizure activity, that agitated delirium that you see in methamphetamine users in the emergency room that have overdosed. These are the types of reports that, if you just mine through the FEARS database system at FDA or poison control centers, you'll see some of these becoming more frequent. So I think our focus has really been on opiate, I think, which is most of the research focus. Our focus has shifted more recently to really trying to understand translational aspects of our work, and how can we really impact those that do ingest too much. Is naloxone or naltrexone the right way to try and reverse this overdose? I can't answer that question right now, but I don't think it's the appropriate measure to take.
Okay. We've had a couple of comments regarding the fact that it seems like kratom use in Malaysia, Southeast Asia, is distinctly different than US-based use. And so is there something there that's playing into what we're seeing in, because some people have said here in their comments that they've seen things where kratom has been compared to morphine, or that it's several times more potent than morphine. So it's sort of like we've got this, strange set of circumstances where you have traditional use versus how it's used here, and then also commentary about how it compares with things like morphine. So can you unpack some of that a little bit?
Sure, I'll try and do my best in as short a time possible.
Yeah, and we do have a few extra minutes for questions, so stick with us. We'll give Dr. McCurdy.
I'm here all day if you want me. I will say that we don't see concentrated extract products in Southeast Asia. There are tremendous amounts of extracts and concentrated extract products that are on the market in the US. And we don't understand, even in animals, what those concentrated extracts do. So we've done some work in that area, but we've been really trying to figure out what's the real plant material doing, not what are some of the other options in the marketplace. So I think I would say that, as I addressed earlier, one, we have dried leaf material that is several weeks to months past harvest. And it's not going to be chemically the same. There's just no question about that. Now, whether pharmacologically it's the same or different is still questionable. However, the extracts, the concentrated extracts, are definitely something that we don't see. And most of the issues that are coming from harm in the US, I believe, are people that are really trying to push the limit and see if they can get high, see if they can get that reported opiate effect. And I can't go really beyond that because it would be, that's speculation enough. But that's kind of where it is. And as I reported, we've seen adulterated products. We've analyzed kratom leaf material that has had hydrocodone in it, that has had morphine in it. It's quite frightening when you think about it. Those are the things we know about. What about fentanyl laced product? What about synthetic laced products? And so just so many things. We don't see people in Southeast Asia experimenting too much. Although I have to tell you, ever since we've started this, younger generation of people in Southeast Asia has started to develop issues with combining kratom teas with other things like Aramin 5, which is a benzodiazepine, alcohol, cough syrups. This has started to become a problem, and it's because of what's happening in the West and them learning about it over there. And so I think we're starting to see that go up. The last thing I would say on this is I think the user base has gone up so tremendously in the United States over the last few years, partly probably because of COVID. But we haven't seen the same rise in harm. And so, there was tremendous amounts of Poison Control Center reports that went from over 5 years or 10 years, whatever it was, that went up hundreds of percentage because it was a small number to start with. But I don't think we're seeing that trend continuing. And I do believe it's because we're seeing a little bit better is to be taken with a grain of salt, product in the marketplace as that pure succinct leaf that people are utilizing for the benefit that they're going for, not to get high. I think it's a population that's there, but I don't think it's the larger population. The legitimate users of this will fight to their death to keep it legal because it's been revolutionary for them.
Well, thank you, Chris. We are a few minutes past, so I think we'll leave it there. We did have a couple of other questions. And so what we'll do is we'll gather those and we'll share those with you and the email addresses that we have in case you want to follow up with anybody directly. But with that said, then, I do want to thank Dr. McCurdy for a wonderful talk and thank everybody who joined us as a viewer today and for sharing questions. The presentation was recorded by NIH Videocast and should be available later on the NIH Videocast site for viewing. And then join us on May 18th when our next IMLS lecture takes place. And we're going to hear about well-being and the economic burden of disease, what we are learning from cancer survivors. And that talk is going to be presented by Dr. Michelle Martin of the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. So with that said, thank you so much, Dr. McCurdy, Dr. Shurtleff, Dr. Langevin, and everybody who's joined us today. And we will see you in May for the next lecture. Have a great day. Bye-bye.